Hello and welcome to Ashton's Tech Support. Today I'll be explaining port forwarding. When people hear the word port, they might think of a port for boats or ports on a computer like USB-C. Well, port forwarding doesn't have anything to do with boats, and just a little with actual ports. The kind of port forwarding is talking about is a digital port, mainly a port on a router. These ports allow communication on a network and the internet. If you port forward, it is going to open a port on your router. Why isn't it called port opening? Well, it does more than just opening a port, and we will get to that in a bit. Anyway, if someone gets your IP address and tries to connect to your router, it will say, no, go away. And the connection has to go all gone bye-bye. However, if you have port forwarded, this connection will be allowed on that port. Say my IP address is 192.168.444.007. Think of this as an address for a house. Someone comes to the address, they go to the house, they try to get in through a door or window. They can't because it's closed and locked. Then they go away. Now, if I open a port, let's say port 2901, only that port is open. To access it, one would have to type in my IP address, 192.168.444.007:2901, which is the port number. Go back to the house. If the IP address is the house, the port is the specific window or door that you're supposed to go in through so you can get in, but only if you know the exact one. You might be thinking, why would someone want to open up a connection to their home internet? Wouldn't that allow hackers to get in? Well, yes. If it's not secured properly, it will. However, let's say you wanted to play a game of Minecraft with your friends. They aren't at your house, so they're not on your home internet. You instead make a server. You open the Minecraft port 25565, and when you give them your router's IP address with the port, bam, they have access. Now, that's just the outside of port forwarding. On the user side of the router, it directs the traffic where to go. This is why it's called forwarding and not opening. The port is open and the traffic is forwarded to a location. So going back to that house. Once they get in through the correct door, they will immediately go to the assigned place. For example, the couch. If you're hosting a Minecraft server on your personal computer, after they have gone through your router, their signal will end up back to your computer where it will be connected to the server. Nowhere else on the network. Now, how does it work? You have an external IP address and an internal IP address. The external is given by your router to the rest of the internet. Your internal is your computer's IP address on a specific network. Now, if you disconnect from the network and rejoin, it is possible that a different computer has joined or different device and it has been assigned the same IP address. So when you connect again, you will be assigned a new one. Every time you connect to a network, your IP address changes. In order to set up port forwarding, you have to know your internal IP address and the port you're going to open. So on the user end, when you set up port forwarding, somewhere in the router settings, you type in your internal IP and the port that you have chosen. I'm going to say that my internal IP address is 111.000.222.033. So if someone connects to that port, we opened earlier, they would type in the external IP address, which was 192.168.444.007:2901. The router will say, okay, and directs the traffic to my internal IP address, which again, we said was my computer. So in this case, it was 111.000.222.003. It is important to remember that you have to be careful when port forwarding. If you open a port directly to your computer and your login credentials aren't that secure, it won't be too hard for someone technically savvy to get access to most or all of the files on your computer, and from there, access to every other device on your network. You should also be aware that there are programs that will go ahead and scan all of the ports. If someone gets your IP address, they can run a port scan. If just one of the ports is open, it leaves your network vulnerable. Those are the basics of port forwarding. If you want a specific tutorial on how to port forward, whether it's on a PC or Mac, I've made a video for that. There should be a link right here in one of the corners. If not, it is in the description. Or if you like waiting, the end screen will have the video as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe. If you want your friends to understand what you learned, go ahead and send them this video. If you didn't like this video, you can leave a comment that says dislike, and everyone can go like that comment since the dislike counter is broken. Toodles!